Hello everybody, Steven here with another video for you awesome people out there. So in today's video I figured I would talk about a particular character from a very particular franchise that I love a lot, i.e. Magus from Chrono Trigger. I think he actually has a really deep story and a lot of people don't know his full background story. I'm going to do my best to obviously explain in this video, but even a lot of people don't know that he's actually a person you can actually recruit in your party because they typically see, sorry my hair's messy, they typically see that you can actually fight Magus at a certain part of the story in Chrono Trigger, and a lot of people just fight him because they think he's the bad guy, but hey dude, you can spare that dude, and he's a really good party member. I mean, he's not the best in the game, but he's pretty good for when you get him. So let's jump right into it. And by the way, before we get into it, if y'all guys do not mind, if you love Chrono Trigger and you love my videos, go down and hit that like button. If you don't mind, subscribe to the channel for some more content. Yeah, I would really appreciate that. And also, just a little pre-header before we go into the video. I just want to say that I'm going to be, basically this is going to be a face video. I'm going to typically put out the whole story at the best of my ability right now. I'm going to use this video to go back and hopefully make an actual video where I edit it and add in the gameplay part, so the actual like scenes that happen so that you can better see what's going on. I'm going to talk about it obviously. But anyways, yeah, so take this as a very brief background of Magus that kind of explains why his story is actually extremely deep, and he's actually like a very good character. He has very good character growth in the game. And hopefully I'll go back and I'll edit a video and I'll make it with some background stuff. So anyways, yeah, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, please. So by the way, if you didn't catch this already, spoilers. So if you have not played or beaten the game and you don't want it to be spoiled, please don't watch this video. But if you do want it to be spoiled, or if you've seen the thing, you just kind of want to get a little recap, we'll start right here. So the character of Magus actually started out as Janus in the Kingdom of Zeal in 12,000 BC in the world of Chrono Trigger. He was a young child. He had an older sister named Shala or Scala. I typically call her Scala. I'm going to call her Scala in the video, but some people do call her Shala. His mother was actually Queen Zeal, the monarch of the Kingdom of Zeal. She went a little crazy, by the way, if you don't know, spoiler. But anyways, yeah, that's his given name was actually Janus. So growing up, Janus actually only really talked to his cat. I can't remember the name, starts with an A, I believe, but anyways, his cat and his sister, Scala, or Shala. Anyways, he really didn't talk to anybody else. He was actually like very to himself about a lot of stuff. So as time went on, his mother, Queen Zeal, started to go more and more crazy, or more and more like, you know, psychotic about stuff. She got very obsessed with Lavos and very obsessed with actually collecting magic or power from Lavos, which is why she had the Mammon machine made, which was actually a machine that would take the power from Lavos and basically give her more magic or give her more power to do whatever the hell she wants. But, so what happening is that she had the Mammon machine made, Queen Zeal had the Mammon machine made, and she wanted to put in what's called the Ocean Palace, a palace that was at the bottom of the ocean that was built. And the reason they put it at the bottom of the ocean because they wanted the machine to be closer to Lavos so it could take more power. The Mammon machine was actually made from a very rare substance that you actually do find in 65 million BC in the game. It's the redstone. So it's basically made from the redstone, which is actually a very cool item in the game, or like, I guess, material in the game. It's actually kind of the item that actually made the humans, or, you know, men, women, whatever, evolve. It was partially the help of Lavos, but also the initial like evolution apparently was brought on by the redstone, which is also the stone that the Masamune is actually made from, which is why you have to go back to 65 billion BCE and help out Isla to get the redstone. So anyways, fast forward. Mother's crazy. She has this Mammon machine. She really wants to pull power from Lavos so she can be more powerful and stronger, puts in the Ocean Palace, right? So what ends up happening is that she can't control the Mammon machine by herself, Queen Zeal. So she needs her daughter, Shala, or Scala, as I usually call her, to actually control the Mammon machine for her. Now, Janus, i.e. Magus, is actually very close to Scala. And so she gets pulled away to go to the Ocean Palace to basically control the Mammon machine, and he kind of low-key follows her. without her knowledge, and boy, was that a bad idea. So basically a tragedy happened in the Ocean Palace with the Man Machine. The Man Machine was so close to Lavos and taking so much power that it actually awoke Lavos. So there was 3 gurus that were there. There was Gaspar, Balthazar, and Melchior. And by the way, that's actually the name of the 3 wise men from the Bible that gave stuff to Jesus. Anyways, unrelated. But anyways, so there was those 3 wise men, Balthazar, Melchior, and Gaspar, as well as the Queen of Zeal, Scala, and unbeknownst to them, Janus, i.e. Magus. So they start the Man Machine, and it happens to wake up Lavos. And boy, was Lavos not ready to be woken up, man. He got mad AF and basically just reaped hell, whatever, you know, boom. Opened up a couple time gates, boom, 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 boom. Sucked Balthazar to the future, 2400 AD or whatever it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure Balthazar was actually the one that was like the ones to the future that actually makes the epoch, the time machine that you take. Anyways, and then there was Gaspar, which was the guru of time, who was actually sucked through a time portal to the end of time, which is the guy you meet that's like the old man, like the, you know, the cane with the brown hat. Anyways, the end of time, that's supposed to be Gaspar. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, like I said before, this is me talking about Magus mainly. I might get a couple names wrong for the other characters, particularly the wise men, but I'm talking about Magus mainly, so please level me. Anyways, yeah, so Balthazar sent to the future, Gaspar sent to the end of time, Melchior sent to 1000 AD ish. He was sent around that time. I don't think it was exactly 1000 AD, but he was sent around that time. But before Melchior was sent to 1000 AD, he saw that Janus was about to get sucked into a time portal. And my man Melchior, he jumped out and he tried to save Janus, i.e. Magus, from being sucked into the time portal. So Melchior tried to save Magus, by the way, from being sucked to that. Just want to put that out there. So anyways, Melchior tried to save him. He couldn't save him. Janus ended up getting sucked into a time portal and sent to the year 600 AD in the world of Crono. He arrived there, bumped into a big old green man by the name of Ozzy, who I guess was like, hey, this is a human, we're gonna beat him up. And then Magus blew his mind by casting some magic, which, by the way, after the whole situation that happened back in the past where everybody got sucked in time portals, magic don't exist no more. We'll get to that a little bit later, but anyways, humans don't cast magic in the year 600 AD. They don't cast magic. So Magus cast magic, and Ozzy was like, holy crap, this little kid can whoop my butt, and he can cast magic, and I think he might be able to help me stop the humans. So over time, Magus basically starts studying magic. He studies as much as he can. He studies the history, he studies everything he can to learn about Lavos. Because it turns out that after he got sucked in a time portal, Scala also got sucked in something. Something happened to her. So as far as he knows, she's gone. She's dead. Lavos killed her. He hates Lavos. So he spent many years basically researching everything he could, researching history, researching everything, magic, learning all the magic. Like whenever you get him in your party in the game, spoilers, he actually can cast a lot of different types of magic. He can cast, I believe, water, fire, shadow, I don't know, lightning, but he basically can cast like the level 2 spells from the moment you get him. So since he was obviously worked with Ozzy, who can, I guess, give him the opportunity to learn about magic, he spent his time, you know, learning magic through him, but also he was helping Ozzy with his own odds, which was actually fighting and defeating the humans. Ozzy is what's called a mystic. A mystic is like basically your monsters in the game. And when you're in 1000 AD, there's a point where you actually go to like the mystic village. I think it's called Medina. Anyways, but that's called the mystics. Those are the people that are waging war, or the creatures that are waging war in the year 600 AD. Magus, a human that Ozzy found that obviously can cast magic, and he thought like, oh my gosh, this is like the Messiah for us to basically defeat the humans. He learned as much as he could, learned about history, and he was on a freaking hell path to freaking call Lavos up so he could freaking fight him. But at the same time, he was waging war with the human civilization, i.e. Guardia, I believe it's called. Guardia, the biggest human kingdom on the planet at the time, I guess. But yeah, anyways, Magus was waging war against Guardia while he was also studying a lot of magic and trying to figure out how to summon Lavos so he can seek revenge for what happened to him and his sister. And this, by the way, is all the original timeline. This is before Chrono and everybody else goes back in time, goes through time gates. Originally, Magus was in the Kingdoms of Zeal, ended up actually getting sucked in a time warp to year 600 AD, met Ozzy, learned a bunch of magic, waged war against the humans, and he actually, in the year 600 AD, I think he actually arrived in 550 AD or so. He arrived before 600 AD, but anyways, by the year 600 AD, he summoned Lavos to his freaking castle, or his freaking keep, whatever you want to call it, the Fiend's Keep. And he summoned Lavos, and long story short, Lavos killed him. He died. That's why when you initially go to the kingdom, not the kingdom, you go to Medina Village, you see all the mystics, walking around the statue of Magus and talking about him like he's basically the Messiah for them. He summoned Lavos and died. They knew he was trying to summon Lavos. They believed he was summoning Lavos to help them beat the humans. But the truth is he was actually summoning Lavos so that he can get revenge on Lavos for how it sent him to 600 AD, ruined his life, and also ruined his sister's life. So anyways, that's the basic story that happens before the whole time travel stuff goes on. Just want to put that out there. Everything I said up to this point is before Chrono and Party, Chrono, Marle, as I call her, Luca, Robo, all of them, Frog, all go around and then start messing with the timeline. So now we're going to start the alternate timeline, which basically goes through how Chrono and Party, or Chrono and his team, basically started messing with the timeline and how it changed how things went out. So essentially, everything that I said before went verbatim, up until the moment that Magus got killed by Lavos. So everything before Lavos killed Magus is actually like straight up what happens, okay? So Crono obviously comes, becomes friends with Frog, gets him the Masamune repaired, goes to Magus's lair. What ends up happening is that Magus is trying to summon Lavos. Crono and his party think that Lavos was created by Magus, and they're trying to stop Lavos because he's going to end the world or whatever, in 1999 AD. So they go there to try to defeat him. They think that Magus is the one that created Lavos, which is why you go to fight Magus in his keep in 600 AD. So as I said before, everything in the timeline that originally happened has happened at this point. The only difference is this is the alternate timeline where Crono repairs the Masamune, gives it to Frog, goes to the keep and tries to fight Magus. So whenever they finally get to Magus, he is actually in the middle of summoning Lavos. In the middle of it. He hasn't summoned Lavos yet. He's in the middle of it. Crono and his party interrupt that crap. They're just like, you ain't summoning shiz, buddy. The reason this is important is that the fact that Crono and his party interrupted Magus's original, plot line, which was summoning Lavos, actually kind of inadvertently saved his life because he couldn't fully summon Lavos. And what ends up happening is at the end of the battle with Magus, he basically is like, you think I made this creature? I didn't make him. He's been around since forever. But anyways, they end up stopping him from summoning him partway through, and Lavos does awaken, and he does the same thing he did before. Opened up a bunch of time gates and sent people to different times. Sent Crono and his party to 65 million BC, where they learned in the whole scheme of that part, like they learned that Lavos actually was made by Magus. They actually watched Lavos land on the planet. Magus, on the other hand, boy, did he luck out? He got sent to 12,000 BC, boy. I.e., guess where he's from? That's right, 12,000 BC. He's back in the Kingdom of Zeal, baby. And he knows a lot more than anybody else in that time period. He knows what's going to happen. He knows every major event. And he knows a lot of magic, so he can do some magic. Woo the people, woo the queen. And woo the queen he does. He basically goes there and says, I'm a prophet. Says, there's going to be these people that are going to come, you know, red hair, maybe yellow, whatever. Describes the party that you have. Says, these people are bad. They're going to stop you from doing what you want to do, queen. And boy, they ain't about that. I'm all about the yas, queen. They ain't about the yas, queen. So we're going to really skip over a bunch of stuff that happens from this point on. Basically, Magus was sent back to 12,000 BCE after you interrupt him from being killed by Lavos and actually have him sent back in time. He pretends to be a prophet, wows the queen, becomes the prophet, like I just said, and her nearest advisor, which is why Dalton doesn't like him, because he just kind of came out of nowhere, took his job, and he's like the queen's right-hand man now. So this is actually an important part why Magus is actually kind of a deep character. So a little bit of spoilers here. Whenever the party, Chrono and his party, end up making it to the Kingdom of Zeal, they end up getting captured by Dalton. You fight the golem, if you beat him, you still get captured anyways. And I think you're kept like in the Mammoth machine. But anyways, Scala comes in to essentially rescue you. When she comes in, the prophet's with her. The prophet, by the way, if you're not following me, is Magus. So Magus, being the prophet, and by prophet I mean like he's literally wearing a hood and nobody knows who he is. You shouldn't know who he is by this point if you haven't played the game. Comes in with Scala, and she's like, holy crap, we gotta save these people. And first Magus is like, no, we gotta kill them, we gotta freaking get rid of these people. And she's like, please, we gotta save these people. And Magus, hearing from his long lost sister, we need to save these people. He's just like, oh God. Okay, Scala. Okay, fine, it's fine. He talks to the party, says, show me how you got here. How did you get here? So you take him back to the time gate that brought you there, because you took a time gate there originally. And he makes you go through the time gate. Tells Scala, whatever, seal that gate so they can't come back. So Crono and the party go through the time gate. He has Scala seal it. Now, this is also another reason why it might be deep. He probably didn't know that you actually accidentally kind of saved his life. But you know, his sister said, please, can we please save these people? And he wanted to kill you. He wanted to kill you. He was ready to kill you in his freaking keep. But she said, please, can we not kill them? Can we just save them? Can we just, whatever you want, as long as they can stay alive and they're not hurt, please. And Maggie says, okay. Takes you to the place, you go through the time gate, Scala seals it. So to basically paraphrase or basically sum up what happens with Crono and the party, they end up getting to the future where they actually go to, what's his name? I believe it was Balthazar. I believe it's Balthazar. Sorry if I keep mixing up I won't mess up Melchior. I'm pretty sure Gaspar is the time guru, but Balthazar, yes, he's the one that invents the time machine and the future, which I want to say is 2400 AD. I can't remember off the top of my head. Sorry if I got it wrong. I'm not looking at notes. I'm actually just doing this from memory, by the way. But anyways, they end up going to the future, and Balthazar has actually passed away. He actually, before passing away though, he had built a time machine called the Epic, or Epoch as some people call it, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Epic. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it the way you don't like, but I'm going to call it the Epic here. He basically made this time machine called the Epic, and he put basically his memories, or put like a list of like stuff to like go out, like basically a program into what's called a new, which is like the blue creature's like, whatever. So you basically go there, a new basically gives you the time machine, You take Time Machine, and Chrono and his party make it back to 12,000 BC to go to save Melchior, who's actually stuck on the Mountain of Woe, I believe it's called. Scala asks you to, I'm going to call her Scala. I keep switching, I'm sorry. But you basically have to go save Melchior, and when you save Melchior, he gives you what's called the Ruby Dagger, which is a dagger made from the redstone, the stuff I talked about from 65 million BCE, which, by the way, if you didn't know, that Ruby Dagger is actually the Masamune before it becomes the Masamune. We'll get to why that happens later. But anyways, you go there, get the Time Machine, go to 12,000 BCE, and save Melchior from the Mountain of Woe. And they're like, holy crap, we got it. I don't even know. You know, you save him, you go down to like the little, like the people in the ground village, and Dalton comes and basically takes Shala there. I don't know if he takes Melchior. I know he takes Shala. I don't know if he takes Melchior. I can't remember that off the top of my head. I'm assuming he takes both. Sorry, it's been a while since I played this part of the game. But anyways, Dalton comes, takes Shala. And Melchior ends up somehow going too. Anyways. So by that point, you have the Ruby Dagger that Melchior gave you. He gave it to you saying that this is the only thing that can stop or destroy the Mammon machine. Note that. This Ruby Dagger is the only thing that can stop the Mammon machine, per se. So anyways, the party goes to the Ocean Palace. And by the way, this is the new timeline. So they go to the Ocean Palace. They get there, and who do they find? They find Balthazar, Melchior, Gaspar, Queen Zeal, I believe Dalton, who's just standing in the back like a little asshole, bitch he is. Janus is there too. I don't know if he's presented himself at this point, but anyways, Janus, i.e. Magus, is there. And the Prophet, future Magus, is there. So essentially, what ends up happening is that Crono ends up jumping on the Mammon machine and stabbing it with the Ruby Dagger, which ends up putting a lot of energy into it, and it becomes the Masamune. That's how the Masamune was actually made. It was Ruby Dagger. Whenever it was stabbed in the Mammon machine, which I assume in the original timeline, somebody stabbed the Mammon machine with the Ruby Dagger to make the Masamune because it exists originally too. But anyways, Chrono stabs the machine, the Ruby Dagger turns into the Masamune. It's not very apparent at the time, if I remember correctly, but anyways, that's how the Masamune is made. But anyways, does that. But it's too late. Lavos was summoned. And essentially, the entire outcome is the same. The only difference, obviously, is that future Magus is there, and so are Crono and his party. So what ends up happening is Magus is like, holy crap. Future Magus, by the way, the Prophet. When I say Magus, I'm talking about Magus. I'll use the other name, Janus, if I'm talking about like child Magus. Anyways, so Magus is like, holy shit, Lavos is here. I'm gonna fucking kill this motherfucker, and I'm gonna fucking save everything. I'm gonna save my sister. I'm gonna save blah, blah, you know, that kind of stuff. Magus tries to fight Lavos, and he fails. He's defeated literally like immediately. Lavos is just too strong, which is why he died when he originally summoned Lavos in 600 AD. What ends up happening, big spoilers, if you weren't wanting to be spoiled about like little things, this is a big spoiler. If you do not know what happens at this point, click away, because this is actually a really, really integral part of the story. So Magus gets defeated by Lavos. He's not killed, he's defeated. Crono steps up and basically sacrifices himself to save everybody there. He sacrifices himself to save his whole party, to save Scala, to try to save, you know, the queen in a little bit, you know, all the wise men, Janus, i.e., you know, old kid Magus, as well as future Magus, Magus, the guy that tried to kill him originally in his keep, which, by the way, did let him go. And this is another reason that I think that Magus is kind of a deep character. Crono risked his life and he got killed. He ended up getting basically absorbed by Lavos. It's pretty sad, it's pretty crazy because he's the main character of the story, obviously. and he got absorbed by fucking Lavos, man. That shit's crazy. It's fucking crazy. The reason I think this is another thing that makes Magus deep is I think he realizes that Chrono sacrificed himself, and it actually ended up saving Magus's life. I think Magus realized that, and we'll get to that very, very soon, by the way. It does kind of come up later, and I'll explain because there's a little branching path that goes on in Magus' story. So anyways, Chrono sacrifices himself, gets absorbed by Lavos, dies. Scala ends up basically teleporting the party and Magus out. I don't know if she knew who Magus was at the time. Maybe she did. I'm assuming she actually recognized him as her brother. But teleports everybody out. They're safe for the most part. But Crono did die. He got absorbed by Lavos. So there's a bunch of stuff that happens between that point. Basically, to sum it up, you're captured by Dalton. You're put on like some big old like a Blackbird ship or whatever. And Dalton he basically takes the Epoch, which at the time didn't fly, and he basically outfits it to fly. You basically beat him and you get a flying Epoch at that point in the game. So I believe you talk to the village elder, like the human village elder, because at this point in the game, Lavos came, freaking just sent everybody away. Shala sent y'all away, and Lavos made the Kingdom of Zeal, which was a hovering continent at the time. Sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier. It was a hovering continent, plummet back to the earth, which caused massive tidal waves. Just many people died. The Kingdom of Zeal was gone. Magic was gone at that point. I think the people who were in Zeal at the time could still use magic, but nobody after that point could use magic. So you go and you talk to the elder, and he's like, hey, you need to go to this like little ridge or whatever because somebody was talking to you. So who do you see when you go there? You go there. Guess who you see? Magus. Future Magus. He essentially tells you, I am Janice. I'm that little kid. Actually, he basically says he's a little kid that got sucked up in the time warp. Which also, by the way, Janice did tell Crono that one of his parties was going to die, which was kind of like a little premonition. But anyways, Magus essentially says, I was the kid. And he says a bunch of different things like Crono was stupid. He's a freaking idiot. Risked himself, all this other stuff. And you need to understand at this point, and this is why it's deep, Magus had been just for years trying to get at Lavos so he could get his payback for what happened to him and happened to his sister. And he failed. He failed. He's a defeated man. He's a super, super defeated man. Like, I assume that's why he's like looking out the water when it happens. Like he basically told you about the Kingdom of Zeal. He was Janice, all this other stuff. But like, literally, he just like, I did everything I could. I failed. I failed. He does take a couple swings at Crono, who's gone. Now this is where the story splits. You can typically change the ending at this point. You have the opportunity to either kill Magus or spare Magus. And this is another reason why the story is deep, in my opinion. So the canon is that you spare him. The non-canon is that you kill him. So if you kill Magus, what ends up happening is he actually, you typically want to fight him with Frog, because if you fight him with Frog, it's like one-on-one. If you don't fight him with Frog, he's actually a little bit harder, but he's a lot less powerful than he was originally whenever you fought him the first time. So anyways, he's a defeated man. He's like, if you want to take revenge on me for Cyrus, which is like Frog's mentor, just go ahead. I'm not going to go down without a fight, but just go ahead. He obviously holds back because he's not super hard. He's a defeated man. He's holding back. And from the moment you defeat him, he's like on the ground, and he says, your friend, seek out Gaspar, the guru of time. He can help you. Bring him back. And then he disappears and drops an amulet that Scala gave him for basically protection, which is kind of sad because that basically means that he basically kept Scala's amulet at all times. It was always on him at all times, which is really sad because it just shows how much he loved his sister. But anyways, the reason this is another deep moment is that he's a defeated man. He kind of held back in your fight. And if you don't think he held back, dude, he really did hold back, like a lot. Especially if you fight with Frog. Like, he's super easy if you just fight with just Frog. If Frog's in your party, it's one-on-one. You with Magus. And he's super easy. He holds back on you. But when you defeat him, he says, your friend, seek out Gaspar. He can help you bring him back. You know, Gaspar, the guru of time. He's so defeated, but like, I guess maybe he saw hope in you guys. I think he realized that at that point, this is where I think at the point he realized what ended up happening, which is that when he originally summoned Lavos, he probably would have died. I think he realized that. And the second time, or the time that he actually ended up fighting Lavos in this timeline, he failed. And because of Chrono, he got to survive. Like, he survived because Chrono sacrificed himself. And you know, man, it takes a big dude to admit he's wrong. It takes a big, big man, just big heart to admit you're wrong. And it's just like, dude, I think that's a very, very deep aspect of Magus. I think it's what makes him a good character. Now let's get into what actually ends up happening in the game. So the second way is that you end up sparing him, which is actually canon. By the way, if you do kill him at the end of the game, Frog does turn back into human, but also the actual canon after the PS1 game came out is that even if you spare him, the canon is that Frog, you know, becomes human again because I guess Magus lifts the curse anyways. So if you spare him, he kind of like laughs and he says, listen, your friend Crono, go seek out Gaspar, the guru of time. He will know how to bring him back. And he just lets you go. He's not like, and the thing that's big about the whole like spare kill thing is that Magus is like, he's just so defeated. He's like, I don't even care what you do, man. I failed. Kill me or leave me be. I failed. And hopefully I'm conveying like how deep this is, but just, you know, even if you kill him, he tells you like, hey, you could bring your friend back. If you spare him, what ends up happening is he says, seek out the guru of time, Gaspar. He'll help you bring your friend back, or he will know how to bring your friend back. Walk away. When you're walking away, he says, hey, you. I'm coming with you. Doesn't ask, she says, yeah, I'm coming with you. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Joins your party. And he's willing to actually help you bring back Crono. He's willing to help you bring back Crono. And even on top of that, he's willing to help you do every other side quest in the game. He's willing to help Frog reconcile the fact that Cyrus, whom Magus killed, by the way, if you didn't know, I didn't mention that earlier. Magus killed Cyrus, Frog's mentor, and close friend. He's willing to go on the quest. He will go on the quest with you. He will help Frog get over that loss. Like, it's just, it's kind of putting aside like personal qualms for the greater good in a way. I know it sounds like I'm freaking rambling because I probably am, but it's just like, dude, like, you kill him, you save him, he gives you the information you need. If you kill him, his dying breath is like, hey, your friend might be able to be revived. Go talk to Gaspar. If you save him, he says, hey, okay, go talk to Gaspar. By the way, I'm gonna come with you. And he's willing to help you out with all your side quests. And the big thing there is he's willing to help you resurrect Crono, which I think there's reason why is because he knows that Crono saved his life. At this point, I'm assuming he's a smart guy. He knows that Crono saved his life at the keep when he originally tried to summon Lavos, and Crono's sacrifice saved his life again. I think at that point he put it together. He realizes that. And even on top of that, he's willing to help Frog get over his loss of, you know, Cyrus. He's willing to go on the quest. He's willing to help him, you know, put him to rest, put the whole thing to rest, and help him make the Masamune as powerful as it can friggin' be. And obviously, the end of this whole thing is that he obviously helps out the party, resurrects Crono, helps Frog, you know, reconcile like his loss, and they end up defeating Lavos. And yeah, that's basically the end of the story. But anyways, to summarize, yeah, just Magus is a deep character. He started out as like a kid, got caught up in a very bad situation, got sent to a time period, lost his sister, and he was on a I don't care who gets hurt, I'm going to kill Lavas. I'm going to kill Lavas. Obviously failed. But at the end, he realized that, hey, I failed. I tried. I couldn't do it. But he's not stupid, and he's the bigger man to say, I was wrong. I thought I could do it by myself. But you know what? I think y'all guys have a shot. And, anyways, I'm really paraphrasing this whole situation. But I think that's what makes Magus a he's actually the deepest character in the game, honestly, if you ask me. He's the character with the biggest backstory. He's the character that has like the most character growth when you really look at like his story. I mean, the dude tried to kill you. He tried to kill you. And eventually he's just like, damn, I tried and I failed to kill Lavas, obviously. And he just gave up on life. And I think that the fact that you spared him makes him think that, you know what? Maybe I can't do it by myself, but maybe with you guys, there's a shot. There's a shot. And that's what makes him a deep-ass character. Anyways, as I stated earlier, this is basically just me just doing a little face video talking about the story of Magus and Chrono Trigger. I know I rambled on a little bit. Hopefully, I tried to cover as much as I could, tried to basically put it in order in a way that is consistent to make sense. Anyways, I'm going to try to use this video as a reference for myself to hopefully just play through the game or get some footage of Magus in the game and redo this video. Obviously, hopefully much shorter with just key points to kind of put it out there. But yeah, I want to make another video with the actual gameplay and stuff like that. And so you might see this video and you might see another video in the future. Might be a week, might be a couple days, might be a week, might be a month, might be a year, might be freaking a couple years from now before I do it. But anyways, the whole point of this video is just me basically talking about my feelings about that stuff and talking about it because like I've never seen any videos that actually go over Magus' whole story, which is just crazy. It's just crazy. But anyways, hope you enjoyed the video, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new to the channel, please, please, please think about hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button. If you want to make any corrections to what I'm saying, or you have any questions or any like quarrels where you think I was saying something wrong, go down and hit the comments, man. Leave a comment. Even if you just want to say, hey, good job. Hey, you suck, bro, whatever. Leave a comment. Leave a comment for me. I typically respond to all comments as long as they are not spam. And it makes me happy just to see people commenting on my videos. I don't get any negative comments usually, but it warms my heart to see that, people see my videos and like they want to say something, like it gets them to want to say like, to converse. So, hey guys, new to the channel, please subscribe, please hit the like button. Please go ahead and comment too. I guess hit that bell too. I guess people say hit a bell, but anyways, yeah, I hope y'all guys enjoyed it and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.